Keir Starmer has once again been caught out in a BBC interview as the liar that he is. He always seems to think he gets away with these interviews as the smart guy, but the internet always catches it. In today's video, we will watch the interview and go over why the British public are fuming, whilst also going over all of the latest news from up and down the country. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say we have new Make Britain Great, again t-shirts available on our store. Go grab them now. They are available at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. Today, in a BBC interview, Starmer refused to rule out more tax raid as Labour's support continues to slump in the opinion polls. The Prime Minister warned that unforeseen circumstances mean that he cannot rule out increasing levies. Starmer told the BBC it is not his plan to impose more tax rises, but pointed to COVID-19 pandemic and Ukraine war as examples of unexpected global events that would force him to change course. Chancellor Rachel Reeves told a Confederation of British Industry (CBI) conference at the end of November that she would not be coming back with more borrowing or more taxes. However, Starmer refused to repeat this pledge on November 27th when he was asked to do so by Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the opposition, at Prime Minister's questions, after being pushed on the issue yet again. Have a watch.
Better off.
Why do you think you're so unpopular? You have an approval rating of -38. Why do you think that is?
Firstly, I'll be judged at the end of the 5-year term on whether we've delivered what we said we will deliver, and that's all that matters to me. That's what gets me up in the morning, so I came into politics to bring about that change. Second thing I'd say is this. We've inherited a real mess, and we've decided to take tough decisions to deal with it, to take it head on, that £22 billion black hole in the economy. I wasn't prepared to pretend that it wasn't there, to walk past it, to make it feel good. So we took the tough decisions, and that is tough. But we did it early, and I think anybody watching who's run a business, run an organisation will know, or even decorated their house. If there's a tough job to do, you know it's got to be done. You're better off getting on and doing it because things will be better on it.
Can you say in the clearest possible terms whether from here on in to the end of your term there will be any tax rises? And I'm talking about to business, to national insurance or to people's tax. Will there be any?
So we took really tough decisions in the budget and we did them early. And we stabilised the economy. And that was tough. And I don't want to in any way suggest that we're going to keep coming back for more, because that isn't the plan. That
so
isn't the
no more tax rises?
So we did the tough stuff in order to stabilise, because what individuals, and particularly businesses, have said to me is, look, do the tough stuff, but then we need the degree of certainty. We need to know that things aren't going to materially change. So that's the approach we've taken. What I can't do is say to you, there are no circumstances unforeseen in the future that wouldn't lead to any change at all, because if you just look at COVID and the Ukraine situation, everybody knows there are things that we can't see now. But I can tell you our intention was to do the tough stuff in that budget and not to keep coming back, to stabilise so businesses could know, well, look, it's tough but fair, but at least we know now with certainty and we can plan. That's the mindset that we brought.
This is how people reacted, John said. I counted the world tough 10 times. Tired old talking points banging another nail into economic confidence and growth. Harris said, unforeseen circumstances? That old catch-all turkey? Like a £20 billion pretendy black hole, for example? Tim said, just give him a JCB so he can carry on digging himself a bigger hole? What kind of unforeign circumstances would call for another tax hike? Doesn't the money he's saved by freezing the elderly cover it? James said, it wasn't his plan to have to relaunch his government after 5 months, or take away the WFA from pensioners either. Pretty sure that when he capitulates to the next strike, him and Rachel will be dipping their hands in our pockets again. Jen said, so no but, yes but no but maybe. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. In some other news, Britain is now facing a war of national survival, warns a top British defence chief as Russia's gains accelerate on the battlefield in Ukraine. Air Vice Marshal Sean Bell's chilling assessment comes hours after President Vladimir Putin accused the West of pushing the world towards global conflict by deliberately escalating the war in Ukraine. Of special concern, naturally, is the situation in the European region, in particular in Ukraine. Western countries are deliberately escalating tensions. It is them who are responsible for the present-day tragedy, and they continue aggravating the situation, Putin told a meeting of the Supreme State Council of the Union State of Russia and Belarus, according to TASS, Russia's state news agency. Such an irresponsible policy is driving the world to the brink of a global conflict, he added. Putin will be feeling emboldened at the moment. He's making his largest territorial gains in Ukraine since the start of the war. Russian forces are advancing at key points along the 1,000-kilometer front line, particularly in the Donetsk region to the east. Here, they've made notable progress towards Pokrovsk and Kurakovo, both important strategic hubs. Advances have also been noted near Velika Novosilka and Toretsk, where Russian troops have pushed forward, indicating a multi-pronged approach to encircle and control more of the Donetsk area. Additionally, there's activity around Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region, although the gains there are more contested, with Ukrainian forces also making countermoves. In the military analyst's opinion, we do not have the building blocks to repel an attack, as we have all of a sudden gone from wars of choice, expeditionary warfare, where we take our forces overseas and get involved where and when we want, to wars of national survival. Although Bell describes this shift in Britain's defensive posture as sudden, he tells that it is 35 years in the making. He attributes the decline in military spending to the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, which marked the end of the Cold War. Because we didn't perceive a threat for the last 35 years, we didn't pay for the capabilities, Bell said. The Air Vice Marshal recalls days spent at RAF Barkston Heath, his old flying train base. The Lincolnshire base housed Bristol Bloodhound surface-to-air, SAM missiles, from 1983 to 1989. The UK's main air defence weapon is no longer in active service or under current investment for deployment by the UK. The RAF retired the Bloodhound in 1991 with the dissolution of the Soviet Union, marking the end of its operational role against high-flying bombers. Does he have a point? The UK government, under pressure to reduce public spending, saw defence as an area where cuts could be made without immediate threat to national security due to the new geopolitical reality that followed the end of the Cold War. The British Army's personnel strength saw a substantial reduction over this same period. By 2024, the full-time strength of the British Army was reported to be around 72,510 personnel, which marks a significant decrease from the end of the Cold War. The numbers indicate a reduction of over half since the early 1990s. This downsizing was part of the broader peace dividend mentality, where military expenditures were cut due to the perceived decrease in global threats post-Cold War. Britain has committed to increasing its military spending. Former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak announced a plan to increase defence spending to 2.5% of GDP by 2030, which was described as the biggest strengthening of the UK's national defence in a generation. This investment is sorely needed. Recent reports suggest that the UK's defence capabilities, particularly air defence and coastal defence, are wafer-thin, with the entire British Army potentially lasting only 6 months to a year in a large-scale conflict. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British political content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.